Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tinker Tribe podcast. I am your host, Greg Dowd. Welcome to tonight's show. And I titled this one asking the question: are we controlled by our comforts? And it's something that I have been talking with a few friends about recently. So I thought I'd collect some thoughts on it and presented tonight for the show. So that's going to be the topic of the podcast tonight. And laying the groundwork for everything here, a lot of the efforts and the things that I've been doing over the years here have been because of seeing how things are playing out in the world and getting to a low point myself, being controlled by my own vices and um, pleasure seeking. I would say, and then wanting to do something different and looking for looking for answers, not only to the things that I was going through, but answers to how the ship can be turned in the right direction. And I think it's going to be a multi-pronged approach, but I will tell you, just from the people that I'm in and around in my life, that I feel like some people may be starting to get what's on the horizon, but fully not fully understanding the, I guess, the magnitude maybe. And not saying that I do either. I don't fully grasp everything that is going on. If anybody did, then you know, probably wouldn't trust them because no one's got a handle on everything that's going on right now. So, um, but that not to say that you shouldn't be taking efforts to educate yourself and continuously keep learning and striving to get a better understanding of the world that we live in and the reality that we're in. So, um, all you can do is your best in those efforts. So several of the things that I've been listening to and in some of the conversations I've had recently, like I said, were about what is what are some of the solutions that need to happen for things to Sorry about that. I accidentally backed myself out of this, but so what are some things that need to change for us to have a for humanity as a whole to have a brighter future and maybe to turn things around in the country that I'm in and in the United States into a more positive future. And I was thinking about the story of Exodus, and Jordan Peterson talking about this was one of the first things that came into my mind, was how the people Moses led the people out of Egypt, out of their bondage, under tyranny under the Pharaoh, and they had to go into the desert for a long time, and yet the people longed for their slavery again under the Pharaoh, because out in the desert they had to struggle to survive. And it wasn't until, you know, quite a long time until they were able to find a place to settle, and and start to build, you know. So after they, found the so-called promised land. So I feel like, we're at that stage in our civilization, and in that we exist under a a panopticon of tech, uh, surveillance, and a police state system right now, and live under that same tyranny. It's not an overt tyranny, that you cannot see the slavery or the direct oppression on a day-to-day basis. You relatively feel like you're free to go and do the things that you want, and you can go to a concert, you can go hunt and fish and run around, and go find pleasure in going out to entertain yourself and do whatever, out in society today. But is that the thing that is, I mean, all the while, control over the larger things and policies, and um, all the or like covert things that are happening with the legal system, that are happening as we speak, as these legislators are putting through new laws to put tighter and tighter controls over over the people. So, and just thinking about that, I was thinking about, a couple books, is talking to my friend that I go work out with every Friday. We were talking about this, um, and it's kind of a mix. I was saying it's kind of a mix between 1984 and A Brave New World, in a way. And in A Brave New World, to become or to be a person in the society, that it was all about pleasure seeking, and your comforts, and you were like kind of set into these different classes as you were born. There was no longer a a human birth. It was all like children being born in these incubators and things, and a kind of a separation from the natural systems. And then, like, 1984, talking about how they had the war, the ongoing war, where the people had to you know contribute to the war effort, and it was an endless war. It was never meant to be won, only to keep people into a state of fear and compliance. So, everything that we're seeing happening right now seems to be escalating for, you know, the new wars, to never meant to be won, but to be a perpetual war for the growth and health of the state from what I see. So so I I'm kind of just illustrating our issues here, and I really think what's going on is just a more and more control, and the only way I can see one of the ways I can see getting out of the situation is just stop playing the game. And that's the shirt I'm wearing today is kind of a picture of all the elite folks on the global chessboard, I guess, and a bunch of people holding up the chessboard. And and all it takes is for us to stop playing the game and to stop holding up the board and start building our own systems that we don't have to participate in that game anymore. So mass non-compliance, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. And how can that be achieved? And I believe that it can be achieved. And we're going to get to that a little later in the show. As I wrap things up, I'll talk about one of the things I think we can do to make that possible. Woo! Um, well, let me show you a little bit of what was accomplished, what I was able to accomplish. My buddy Logan over the weekend, and we're working on the property um, down in the the little piece of property that I have, and getting some concrete forms poured. So let me see. I need to kind of mute that audio if I can. There we go. Mute that. Let me pull this up for you guys. I'll show you a little bit of what we got done. We got the foundations poured using these 12-inch diameter concrete forms that we dug the holes for, and we squared up as best we could so that our support structure will sit on top of those concrete forms. So let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Let's see. So I've been posting all these on my fitness channel, Take the Ride 23. And can I do this? It doesn't look that great. Let's see. Do this, probably nicer. A little bit nicer there. So that was from a little while ago. This is the right one. So yeah, this was us. We just got, I think it was like 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So I think we picked up about 8 bags of the those 80-pound bags of Quickcrete, the high strength concrete that you just can add water and mix it. And I just brought my power drill out there with a mixing paddle for concrete and just a few 5-gallon buckets, and we're able to bring that concrete down. We had to hike it down a little section of the hill there and set it all up and staged it so we could bring in the buckets And since I don't have the water line all hooked up that I can run a long garden hose down to where we're working, I did have a water collection set up about 10 feet away from 10-15 feet away from where our build site's going to be. And so I was able to use that water and brought down a little AC pond aquarium pond slash aquarium pump and my portable Blue Eddy solar generator battery bank system, and was able to use that to get the pump started and then pump water so that we can mix the concrete in those 5-gallon buckets, and was able to do that pretty quickly. Got that all set up and going. Got all our concrete mixed, and we worked on getting the supports a little bit more square. One of them was a little out of square, so we're gonna have to maybe play around with that a little bit. We might be able to get it to sit in there pretty well, playing with where the mounts are gonna go, the mounting brackets, and how we screw that those into the mounting brackets. So we might be able to make it look a little bit more square. But anyway, those supports and the way that we're building this structure is that you're gonna have some 6x6s coming up, and we're gonna do uh, a couple 2 by 10 by 12 feet long boards that are going to sit on those 6x6s, and then we're gonna build our deck on that and build the rest of the cabin off of that support system there. So we talked about it, and we talked a little bit more about like making the cabin, making this first one we build a little bit nicer. So might put some more money into it so that we can make this a pretty nice little first cabin that we're gonna set up here. So it's like I said before, it's gonna be like now it's gonna change into like a 12 by 16. So four of those feet will be a covered deck so that you can go out on the deck and have a cover for the rain and be able to drink some tea or coffee or whatever, just kind of a little hangout spot uh, with the cabin while you're out in the property and being out there to enjoy nature and be part of the natural world that's out there. So yeah, this is going to be pretty cool for people that want to get out of the cities, that want to get away from the, you know, all the, noise pollution, and just want to be out in the woods somewhere. The, constant signals going all the time. There is a cell tower that's close to the property, so there's still going to be those cellular signals out there. But if you want to go out there and be free of the electronics and stuff, that would be an option. So I am planning to set up a small solar power system out there and run like some lights and maybe some fans in the cabin on just DC power. So so that's the plan for right now. Got that done on Saturday, and then on Sunday I was out at another friend with another buddy of mine, and he was able to get me some materials from a house that he took down a while back. So I finished loading all those materials up. on a trailer so that we can use that for some projects that are down there. The idea for this material, all this reclaimed lumber from an old house that my buddy tore down and saved a lot of the lumber and denailed a lot of the lumber from, is going to be like a little trading post facility, and then part of it will probably become the structure for some of the solar stuff. So that's the idea behind using these reclaimed materials. And spent Sunday loading that up onto a trailer. And by the time we got all that loaded, and I got out there kind of late, but by the time that we got everything loaded up and I got out of there, it's like an hour or something drive from where he is to the property that I need to go to. So uh, it was getting too late, and I didn't really want to unload all that stuff in the dark. So I ended up coming back to my parents' place and gonna unload it on the weekend. Um, so I did that on Sunday and got an old trailer full of that reclaimed lumber, another full trailer, 16-foot trailer full of all that stuff. And so making some progress, making more progress, staying disciplined and staying on task for getting things done out there, and keeping everything moving along. So yeah, everything's coming along really well. It's gonna be nicer to once we get the post set for the cabin and we get the deck put on there, then everything should go ahead a lot faster as far as getting the walls put up and getting the roof structure on and all that stuff. So that's moving along really well. And let me see if I can get rid of that for now. And I need to do that to stop share. So um yeah, over the weekend, and then talking to my buddy that I got the materials from, he let me be aware of a interview with this guy Michael Young, I believe is what his name is, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick here. See, Michael Young, Darian Gap, Sean Ryan show. So let me see if I can pull this up. Michael Young, the secrets of the Darien Gap, and I think this is a really good this is a really good one to listen to about what's going on with the southern border and all the organizations that are helping to move migrants from all over the world up into the U.S., and how to get them there and what all is going on with all that all the people coming up from the south there, flying in from all over the place. And um you know this is definitely uh a good one to listen to if you're not aware of everything that's going on in that regard. And one of the things that Michael Yan was talking about was the overall um, kind of the overall picture that he's seeing is going to be like a worldwide kind of a food shortage type situation. So when you start having these wars and they're starting to block certain passageways across the oceans, and our shipping and distribution chains get disrupted, all these supply chains get disrupted, and a lot of these foods that are in our grocery stores are coming from international places. So a lot of these supply chain issues, we export a lot of our stuff that we grow here in these monocrop type agricultural systems, and a lot of that food gets exported elsewhere, and we import a lot of the food from other places. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is you know because of the wars and everything, will be you know uh very much disrupted. So that, and then all the people coming up from uh all over the all over the world, that much similar, much in a very similar fashion to the end of the Roman Empire, in that civilization, that you had a lot of you know people coming in from outside of Rome, uh I guess the heart of Rome, and the military spread out all over the place. It's military spread out all over the place, and just kind of not being able to secure the main area of Rome. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is stacking up, and they were talking about how there's similarities into a lot of these stories. This has happened over and over again with human civilization, and it's kind of an old pattern, and something to be aware of is just the game plan. If you can see the game plan, then you know what's coming next. So that's what it was all about, and another reason why I think that it's time more than ever to really think about getting together with other people that are focusing on food, and figuring out how you can work with them in whatever way possible. If you're not growing food yourself, to support people that are, and to help each other economically in your local community, building an alternative system to what we have now. Food clubs, call them whatever you want. Um, sell your food as pet foods or whatever to get around the regulations. Do whatever you have to be able to secure that local food, because of all these things that I just described. So uh, not just that, but the main, probably a lot of the stuff that you're gonna buy from a lot of the mass produced foods, industrial food system that we have right now, are going to be vaccinated. Um, so all the animals and things around the world, there are plans to vaccinate all the animals. Uh, so so I found an article on naturalnews.com. This is So let's see if I can pull this up for you guys. Let's do this. Share screen. Mike Adams from naturalnews.com. And I think this article was up on there and posted on May 31st, 2024. So let's see. Yeah, in this article, talking a little bit about vaccinating the if you're not gonna get the vaccine through a personal injection, that they're going for the animals. So it goes on here to say this might sound like something from Babylon Bee, but reality is that Archaea Bio, I guess this is a company that's working on this stuff. We'll look that up. Archaea Bio. We'll go over to there and look at their website in a second. Has already begun developing a new vaccine the mad scientists say will stop cows and other meat animals from releasing methane emissions, passing gas. The claim is the shots will alter the animals' immune systems in such a way as to create antibodies that target methane producing microbes. Archaea Bio secured its first major investment in late 2022 from Breakthrough Energy Ventures, an investment fund founded by Bill Gates. Our vaccination process approach allows for much needed decarbonization of global meat and dairy products across multiple geographies, supporting greater sustainability in agriculture. The company's website explains Archaea Bio has not announced any plans to create a human version of its anti-fart injection, but another company called Ginkgo Bioworks has. Ginkgo, which is also funded by Gates, is pushing to develop a mRNA injections that says will help to stop the planet from warming. The WEF has expressed support for the plan, stating it is critical in the response to climate change. In the face of climate change, vaccines play a crucial, underestimated role, wrote British pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline back in December on its website. AstraZeneca, maker of a shamed and now pulled from the market viral vector Wuhan coronavirus vaccine, also wants in on the gravy train by manufacturing its own climate jabs as well. 2 months prior, Thomas Triumph, executive vice president of vaccines of rival Sanofi, wrote an entire article called Vaccine Innovation is a critical response to the climate crisis that expresses the same interest in developing climate injections. So so yeah, guys, I mean that's more stuff coming from the folks that want to rule over you. Sponsored by Bill Gates. So here is that company. Let's check these guys out. Arca Bio. And I guess Arca Bio is an ag biotech startup developing a safe, user-friendly, and cost-conscious vaccine to reduce ruminant methane emissions that will work seamlessly with existing global agribusiness practices. All right. How's that gonna help? So I guess vaccines to stop cow farts, and what's that got, everything that we eat we're getting from the animals that we're eating. So, what are these things doing to the animals if they are keeping them from farting? Uh, what's that gonna do? And so anyway, this stuff is getting in your food, and that's another reason. It might be convenient to go down to the grocery stores and go and buy your food, but it's becoming more and more tainted and poisoned as time goes on here. And I believe is one of the ways that we become more and more controlled. I mean, like I was talking about in an earlier, like last week's podcast, we talked a little bit about how growing some of your own food will help free you up some money to buy higher quality foods, and you can seek out farmers in your local area that are doing that and focusing on that. So something to consider in growing, being able to grow just a portion of your own food, and then being able to exchange that with other people, or just growing the things that you like to eat and the stuff that you're going to buy from the store. A lot of people eat salads. Even though I'm not such a big fan on the salads, like I like to eat more of the meat, the livestock products, and things like that. That grow the things that you like to eat, and uh, have it available for like a barter situation, and figure out how to put some back in the freezer, and just lighten give you some extra funds to buy a higher quality food that you're not going to get at the grocery store. And I believe that our current system, the way it runs, it truly is a vampiric system. Your youngest years, where you're the most productive, you get a lot of taken from you in the form of income taxation. And then you work for a long time, and you're saving and investing that money and working to grow your wealth, so that you have something you can just chill when you get older. Well, I mean, you go through all that stress, and you're eating all this bad food, and just doing the standard American diet plan, and not getting a lot of exercise, and being stressed out all the time doing your 9 to 5. And then at the end of your life, you get health problems, and now you're paying all these medical expenses, and having that wealth that you had accrued, or you thought that you had accrued, siphoned away from you at the end of your life. So really kind of getting you at both ends. So really the effort is to do something to keep yourself in the best health as possible, so that you can keep yourself out of the doctor's office. And that comes with, I believe, comes with getting after the most local foods that you can possibly get your hands on, that are grown without all these pesticides and herbicide products. And you're networking with other people that are doing a similar thing as that, and figuring out how you can work together and economically support and benefit each other. So that was one of the things that I was talking about with Logan over the weekend, is like, we have people in our community, and people with various skills, and some people are better at certain things than others. And we were talking about, like, how can we support people like that the best way. And one of the things that we had talked about was like if somebody in the group is really good at canning and preserving food, then we take a portion of the food that we grow and then give it over to them, and they'll can and preserve that stuff, and then they get to take a portion, and then ask for a portion of that gets sent to them back. And so or just paying them for it, just paying them for that service. So different ways that we can support each other. I know right now everybody's looking to make a little extra money, and the folks that are being productive and have skills like that are very needed in a community, and being able to use your various skills to support each other in different ways. Um, you know, people have different focuses on the skills that they're really good at, and so uh, using your network to get more things accomplished than you could do on your own, and help lift each other up economically as well. So that's one idea that we've been talking about and implementing in our local group. And I guess that's kind of the conclusion that I wanted to leave with you guys tonight. I don't know. I think I shared the Michael Yon interview on Sean Ryan. I think that is highly worth your time if you have the time to give that a listen. I really think that one is an important conversation to go check out. And then yeah, be continuously working on yourself, and those self improvements in your choices is going to be what really changes things. I don't think that staying comfortable and living in our comforts is going to lead to a better future. It's only going to put us further and further into chains of bondage, and that, unfortunately, it may have to come to people getting uncomfortable, not by their not by their own choice. And so, the way things are playing out right now, I would highly I would say do the hard things now that you can. Do hard things right now that are going to make you uncomfortable, and it but they're going to inoculate you to hard times in the future. So that would mean, getting yourself in better shape, finding and growing your own food, finding local food, finding people that are growing that food in the most holistic way possible, so that you have the highest amount of nutrition, that and you're maintaining your health by having a good diet and healing yourself and staying out of the medical system, because it's just going to be a bigger and bigger drain on your resources, you know, becoming part of that vampire system. But you don't have to be part of that system. You don't have to play that game. You could play a different game. And it's all about that. It's about playing a different game, exiting that vampire system, and starting to play a better game in a different system. So I really think that is one of the keys. It takes an individual effort, and instead of going and doing the pleasure seeking and the comfort and the comfort things, that you look toward the future and you do the hard things now and continue to improve on yourself and your capabilities and your skills and your knowledge day in and day out, in order to be in a better position for the future. Because, you know, if you start looking at all the stuff that's going on right now, it's stacking up to be looking like everything's going to get a lot harder in the next years. So yeah, harden yourself now, do the hard things now, you know, and don't get trapped in the comforts, in the vices. Um just in my life, I can say, like, once I moved away from, the alcohol was my big issue. Staying away from that, I've been away from all the alcohol and everything since I went to my buddy's wedding back in December, and I'll tell you that I don't miss it at all. And being able to, focus on my health and becoming more fit and working out, doing the daily workouts and staying consistent with that, it just starts. You just got to get started on that and just stay consistent. And I think the momentum that you build by staying consistent, it just grows and grows. Some days, I'm feeling really worn out and I just don't want to put in the effort. But you just got to get something done that day. And I've made that commitment, and by putting those videos out online is another way of holding myself accountable. Like, I got to get something done in the day to get that out, so that I remember John saying something about, if you want to accomplish your goals, imagine somebody's following you with a video camera 24/7, and they can see where, you know they'll see your life in its true extent. And a lot of folks come up with the excuse of, like, I don't have any time. Well, if somebody was following you with a camera all day, you'd figure out that you're wasting a lot of time. So I think that is truly uh where folks can find meaning, is in doing these hard things and inoculating yourself to a certain extent of stress from hard and difficult times, by doing those hard things now. So that is, in conclusion, the what I wanted to talk about on the podcast tonight. And uh thinking about putting together a list, and this will probably be kind of workshopped in our local group, of being able to show and how people can contact all the different local food producers in our network and what they're specializing in, and then services and things that folks in our network can provide as well. So um, I know we kind of started that list, and I think I dropped the ball on that one. I think I have it written down somewhere and just haven't populated it onto an online form of some kind. But yeah, I think would be a good worthwhile that would be a worthwhile effort. And just getting more organized in our local group, and being able to figure out how we can support each other better. So with all that, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. What you tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me, am I off base here? Like, what do you guys think? If is it better to do hard things now, or should uh you enjoy life as you have the moments and you have the times while times are good? I don't know. You let me know what you think. With that, guys, I'll catch you next week.